It's always a pleasure to be back on this particular platform. This is the leading issue here on the Happy World of 5FM Radio on 89.9 in Lusaka. We are live also on our Facebook page. Remember, it's 5FM Radio Zambia, covering the Luapula province, and also live on Spice FM Radio in Kabwe on 91.1, and of course covering the rest of Central Province. We are grateful that you found time to tune in to Tuesday's edition of. Now, today our guest on the program is Honorable Richwell Siamunene. He is a former cabinet minister, former defense minister to be precise, but now he is the national deputy chairperson for the Zambia We Want party. And we are grateful, and always a pleasure to have you on this program. Burning issues, sir.
I appreciate for me, and I want to appreciate the listeners, those who have already tuned in.
Yes.
And I say good morning.
Great. We are grateful to have you because we feel that this is coming post quite important events, the Independence Day. It wasn't just an ordinary day, but 60 years of independence.
Yes.
That's what signifies it the most.
Yes.
And also the 10th memorial for the late President Sata. These two are issues that we would like to talk about as well. But we'll start importantly with 60 years of independence in Zambia. What do you make of it? How did you commemorate it yourself as an individual? And do you have anything that you feel, looking back at 60 years where we are, it's not right that we are where we are in this situation 60 years down the line? Do you feel this country would have been different 60 years down the line? How do you overview look at Zambia at 60?
Thank you very much. And this is a very important question. It's a very important question in the sense that as people or as a country, we have 60 years of self-rule, okay? And these 60 years of governing ourselves, what is it that we have achieved? Do we have something to celebrate? And those are the questions.
Yeah.
What is it that we wanted to achieve after getting this independence? Okay. In this, okay, objectives to accrue to the people, to ask ourselves and answer. In my view, is yes, we have achieved political independence, whereby we are able to choose our leaders, we are able to make choices. We are not governed by people from far areas. We are governed by our own children, the children of this republic. Now, perhaps a pertinent question that we need to ask ourselves is, in this case, where are we coming from? Okay? Where are we now? Where we are now, is it what was designed, which would bring prosperity to this country? Have we achieved prosperity? The answer is no. In my view, the reason for fighting for independence, okay, was to govern ourselves. And how, after governing ourselves, then we trickle down the benefit to the ordinary Zambian, okay? So that the Zambian people or the indigenous people will be able to enjoy their wealth, their natural resources, and so on and so forth. That has not been achieved. If you look back where we are coming from after independence. I think the idea was good. Kaunda and his compatriot and his colleagues did a very commendable initially. They did a very good thing. They had a vision to make this country prosperous. There were industries that were coming up. Or before that, even when they inherited, this country was somewhere. I'm sure you know that the pound, or whether the dollar and the kwacha were somewhere. There was a parity.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Point, meaning that we have the natural resources to turn around, okay, to be a prosperous country. And there are industries that were done coming from. If we start from the south, in Livingston, there was Livingston Motor Assembly. There was ITT, there was textiles, and so on and so forth in terms of industry. Okay? We come to Lusaka. There were a number of manufacturing companies during that time. And Copper Belt, you have Dunlop, we had all these small and medium enterprises that were able to manufacture certain goods, that were able to the beverages and so on and so forth. And we go to Eastern Province, you had bicycle assembly there, okay, and which was prominent. We were able to buy bicycle to the rest of the country. And we had the Mansa batteries, which was able to give us the batteries that we needed. Maybe by now they could have advanced to lithium batteries, which is used for powering ourselves, and as opposed to coming from far country. So because I know that in terms of development, it is evolution, in the sense that you start from somewhere and then you go improve on, and until you have something that is suitable for that particular day. Okay. Okay. Now, this is what it was. And now in 2001, we decided to get back to multi-party democracy. And because that time it was one-party participatory democracy. Okay. You were able to choose, although you were pitted against the frog.
Yes.
So anyway, that was a moment. It was good for that who lived that time, because
That's
they
right.
decided to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
They agreed. Okay. Now we said, okay, now we have to get to another level. The level that we wanted was to have liberal kind of politics and party, but where there are many parties. Okay. Now, before that, you should remember one thing. I want you to remember that before that, okay, before one-party participatory democracy, there was multi-party.
Yes.
There was multipartism,
Yes.
and which at some stage it failed. And the leaders at that time decided otherwise. So I am mentioning deliberately because where we are going, and we want to refer to it at some point.
Yeah.
Now, this is how Zambia has moved. And then that democracy that multipartism brought about the idea of policy to bring about liberalizing the economy, meaning that they thought that why the economy was not performing is because the government were running certain businesses and that they wanted to privatize. Okay. And that came from, of course, World Bank and IMF structural adjustment program, and that the economy must be in the private hands. Okay. I think that's where the problem started. That's where the problem started. And meaning that what happened thereafter was that those who bought those companies, okay, one, they uprooted the machine, which were still good enough, take the machine somewhere else, okay, and start producing goods from other countries, okay. Now, others who bought those companies, they were only interested maybe in the land or whatever, and in no production. So, meaning that it is not working. Okay, the economy collapsed. Okay, now You can talk about maybe copper price and so on and so forth. That is, to me, that is a minimal. It would have minimal effect. It will not have any grave. The grave thing is that because we destroyed our industries, so what happens that we started now importing, okay, importing literally everything, even a needle, a toothstick, we have to import. Now, in importation, it means that you have to get your foreign reserves. You have to use foreign currency in order to purchase what you are supposed to purchase outside. That means that when your industrial base is gone, when you have no industries, when you to supply goods either to your people or to other countries, meaning what comes after that, the resultant is that your currency will be compromised, will be weak currency, because it will not be backed by the value that you are producing. So that is how it happened. And then the value of our kwacha, and coupled with, again, in that you have to import literally everything. Then that is where we lost it. Up to this stage, we are still grappling with the same problem. So what I'm saying, therefore, is that there's nothing to. We can celebrate, yes, political independence, but economically, we are still in a bondage. We are not able to exercise ourselves in the economic activities. Why? Because from that notion that Zambian, they are incapable of running businesses, okay? It paralyzed, it's changed the mindset of the Zambian people, say that we can't. As a result, only those products from South Africa, from China, from America, from Europe, these are the people that are there to produce goods and services that we need in this country. That's how our mindset was completely directed to that end. And that when the mindset is directed in that end, it means that there will be less productivity. And when there is less productivity, and it means that there is no way the economy can perform. Because we are not producing anything of value that you can exchange with other countries. So I think what I'm saying is that we can celebrate political independence, but economically, we are still yoked.
But
we are still in slavery.
Yeah, this brings me to the next question. Do you feel that if we had a vision as a country, constitutionalized vision, we would have done things different? Because even the vision that was created under Manawasa, Vision 2030, there's a strong feeling that had it been constitutionalized, it would mean that no political party would divert from that vision. But now it can be thrown out as and when they feel like, or any political party that gets into power can throw away the Vision 2030. It's not, no one is really mandated that they should stick to it. But if we had one and constitutionalized one, do you think that this country would have performed better? Because we have these things of, this party comes into power, discontinues certain projects. This party comes into power, says, look, we cannot go this route. We are going this route because our manifesto must be fulfilled as well. There's all this clutter. What's your thought?
Well, you are 100% correct. You see, Zambia is a country that can be given an example. If I have to give an example, it's like you are a ship at sea, or on a sea, okay, and that it has no captain,
right?
Okay, or it has no direction. So any captain that will come in, will jump in, will take it to the east. Okay, when the other one is out, we'll take it to the south, and then the other one comes, we'll take it to the west. So in this case, I agree discuss on this forum that you see certain things that hinges on the lives of the majority. And we feel that as a Zambia, that this is the way we want to go. And this is the way we can achieve our prosperity for all. It's better it is a constitutional matter. Okay? Because even companies, even this company where we are here, you have a vision. Okay?
Yeah.
You have an aim. You know where you are going. You know what you want to achieve. And any manager that comes here must make sure that he or she has to be oriented, okay? That these are the values of this company, these are the issues, these are the principles, because in order to get where we want to be, we thought that this must be encompassed. So in this case, the issue is that if we, from the Kaunda days, the issue of because the problem there was only Kaunda, is institutions were weak. Okay?
Right.
And I've stated here, and I want to state it, that the institutions that hinges on good governance, and because good governance is prerequisite to economic progress. Okay? So if you have weak laws, okay, if you are not, the laws are not strong enough to give the direction to the leaders that are coming in, then the leaders will maybe think that I can do this way and this way, okay?
Yeah.
To either to benefit themselves or to benefit their colleagues or otherwise. So they will be toasting the country in whatever direction they feel is correct, okay? Now, this is what has happened in us. If we had one and we strictly follow it, if there is any alteration, if there is any change, because we are living in a dynamic world where things are changing every day, the generation and what they may think otherwise. So if they are changing issues are changing, and we agree that things are now have changed. So what do we need? We need to change the course. And then we need to go and revisit our vision.
Yeah.
And then it's agreed, maybe it's taken to Parliament. And Parliament also have their thought. And it is passed there. And then the executive now can continue. So much so that if, for example, you have central statistics. Central statistics keeps all statistics that happens in terms of industrial growth, in terms of population growth, in terms of all other human endeavors. So these are the people that we can consult every time and say, okay, the country, in terms of electricity generation, it will grow at this rate. Meaning that as the population grows, then the productivity also grows in terms of electricity, okay? That this will have, so they will understand that, okay, in this, what are we supposed to do as a party that is in government now? Let's go to electricity. We are at this level. And how is the population? How is the industrial growth? It's at this level. And then how do we, we must grow in relation to the industrial and population growth. So in that order, if it is constituted, that means that every government that will come in or every party that will come in will have to do what is required of them to do according to the growth of sectors, because there is already a projection and we have to meet that projection. So if that is the case, we would have not faced this problem that we are facing today, because we would have gone back to say in 1983, in 1973, in 2013, in 2023, there is a likelihood that we will have drought. Because if you look at these pattern, then you would have said, okay, since we are likely to have drought, what do we do? They could have thought, okay, fine. The Kariba Dam, in order to generate electricity at this level, it requires these volumes of water. What do we do now? In case we have this problem, maybe negotiate with the brothers in Zimbabwe there and say, look, this is what we require, the water. So can we do a mechanism how we can save water for 2 seasons, because we can save water. Instead of that water going to the ocean, why can't we trap it, have small weirs or dams along the tributaries? So much so that we save water instead of that water going to the sea where there is already abundance. We keep it here. In times of drought, in 2013 or 2023, we are going to have drought, as the pattern tells us. What do? We have this. So they could have put those dams along those tributaries to make sure that this time around we could have released the water that we have saved in those. So I'm just giving you an example that if the vision was there, okay, and that vision is constitutional. So you go again to, in terms of farming, okay, I will add that it means that you are going to produce power, okay, you are also going to increase, okay, it's through irrigation, of course, because those dams will be used. Not use those dams, recreation, okay? Okay? Because recreation is very important. We need to do that in order to have that happiness. Right. So you would also do tourism, okay? You do, people will be able to make hotels along those dams, and the benefit will be more, okay, if you do that. Now, in terms of population increase, it means also our consumption demand is increasing. Now, if we are increasing that order, how much of our reserves, our staple food supposed to be kept there? For what season? If it is constitutional for 2 seasons, then every government that will, or every part that will come in, say, okay, we have to keep this amount of stock in our reserves to make sure that this is kept in case we have a drought, in case we have a calamity, then we can save our people for 2 seasons without having a problem. And if that is constitutional, it means that for anyone to attempt to sell, as we are told now, that government sold the maize, which was reserved for future use. So it would have been a constitutional matter, would have gone to Parliament. So Parliament, there's a constitutional breach here. The Constitution says these must be in our reserves, and they have tampered with our reserves. And our Constitution says that whoever tempered the reserves is not fit to be in leadership. Okay, that would have sorted the problem. These are just examples that I'm trying to put across, that this is how we are supposed to move. Yeah. So the vision or the plan is very important in terms of managing yourselves as people in many respects. There are certain things like food security, you can't compromise. You can't. You must make sure that you have food, because food insecurity can lead to something else, to chaos. Okay, because we're talking about the berry, Pamela. It's a crucial issue. It's an emotional issue. It requires you want to make sure that every time, every hour, food is available. Because otherwise, your children will turn against the father, will turn against the mother if there's no food. So I think this is. I was just adding on what you've said, that it's very important that we should have a vision that is agreed, yes, by all parties. And all those who are coming in now, they are trying to follow what is there. Okay, what is the vision tells us to do. Okay, now even in terms of our mineral wealth, so we should have a vision that, okay, how would we want to benefit from our minerals, our natural endowment? We should have, if it is constitutional that the government at all time will hold 50% of the shares in any mining company. Okay, and that's so much so that the government also, the benefit do accrue to the people. Okay, if that's constitutional, so if anyone wants to sell shares there, it must go to Parliament, and Parliament must be able to approve. And the Parliament that is independent, as we are proposing in Zambia, we want Parliaments must be independent, must be having its own independence there, to discharge their duties, to to do checks and balances of what the executive. So the executive must be questioned as, why do you want to do this? Our constitution says this is what.
Right.
If that was constitution, right now Zambia would have been somewhere very far, because that man who benefited a lot from our copper, who says that, look, I benefited copper when I bought the mine, I was able to pay within a month or a year or so from what, and I have accrued a lot of money. And so if that was done, okay, the country would have benefited at that time. Okay, that is why there was a decision by Manoa's administration to have windfall tax that grows with the price or the value or the change in terms of profitability. As the company gets more profit, the country also must benefit more. So that's why if you put it in that order, that the government will remain with these shares on behalf of the Zambian people, which would have seen that the money that would have accrued there would have been in the government systems. And I can tell you that is why Muammar Gaddafi, okay, was able to pay to have free education. Right? If you are not employed, you are paid money until government employment. Okay, that's how they achieve. Why did they do that? Why did they achieve that? Because they had control over their oil sources, because they had a share there. They have a bigger share. If the share in the Zambian is big as well as these other countries, so we find that the money will circulate within the country, and then the government will have more money to grow other sectors. The government will have more money to make sure that the economy does perform, or to support social sectors. So this is why I'm saying we have not arrived at the state where we can be proud and we can say we have the independence, because you can't have independence and then kulibe vakuja, and you are saying, no, I'm free, then you go and celebrate. So I think what we need to do as a country now is to change the way we do things. Okay, it's to rearrange the whole systems and see with that, how can we achieve prosperity? Can we achieve prosperity of this country by using foreign entities? We must answer this question. What has made, go to the history of China, go to and the UK. What made UK in that state, America in that state, China in that state, the country that we borrow money from? What is it that, how are they managing to accumulate such amount of money, which we go there and borrow? And how is it that people who are coming from somewhere else and and they come in Zambia and get rich, yet we are poor? So there's a mismatch here. There's a total mismatch, because you can't have, you can't be the owner of the munda, the field, and then the one who is renting gets more money, and then you are working for that person, and then you are impoverished. So it doesn't to me doesn't have. So I think for me and for Zambia, what we are saying to do more as a country without regard and this one. And we are not here as Zambia, we want to fight or to fight individuals or to remove Akainde, to remove who and fighting. No, not to do. No, we are here to offer alternative way of doing things that will make us achieve economic independence, whereby every Zambian will feel good to belong to them. At least will have a share in the mining profit. Not direct be given, no. If it is in the bank there, if the money that we raise from our copper sales, or if it is to come into the financial system of Zambia, if it, then that means it will sit in one of the bank or many banks. Now, if it goes in those banks, if I'm running a company, I will easily go to that bank and borrow that money and do what I need to do and contribute as well. If I want farming, I will go and get a loan there and get farming equipment or tomatoes and benefit there, and so that I will also participate and contribute to the well-being of the country. So that is how we are. But is this money that we are getting from copper, are we benefiting enough? The answer is no. Then how can we make sure that there is this beneficiation? How can we do it? Is by making sure that we get involved and say, look, these resources belong to Zambian people, and let's look at the ways how we can have win-win situation. When we have win-win situation, and when Zambian people are economically empowered, they are able to run businesses, they are able to feed their family, there is money in circulation there in Soweto market, enough to buy a commodity today, to the very day or tomorrow, it's odd. And then you go back and buy another one. Then so those who are selling tomatoes, selling cabbages, those who are doing various barber shops, saloon, and you are able to go there and have your haircut and at every time, and then you find that the country will thrive. It will be called an affluent country. As for now, people are coming from outside; they're getting rich, but yet you are saying Zambia is poor. How then? What qualification are you giving that kind of thing? Yeah. So anyway, that's why I'm saying the whole issue is that for us, for political independence, yes. But although it has come with its own challenges, people where there are political leaders, there is always enmity, which is not good.
Let's talk about it. I mean, what effect does the political environment has on? So, if tension in the country, and political tension really is like you said. I mean, it's politics of insult, politics of enmity among yourselves. Does that have an effect on the growth of the economy?
It does. It does. Because you see, what it entails is that when there is the political intolerance or political or this disunity, it means that there is no love. And if the country is disunited or it's not united, that means that there will be retardation in terms of progress in many fronts, or especially the economy. Why do I say so? It's because the economy is built out of a vision, and a vision, where there is a vision, people are united. Okay? They know what they want to achieve. They know their objective. Even when one does something wrong, the other one for the sake of the vision that we have. Say, look, we have this vision, but if you and me are to the country will not move. Because I'll give you an example of the Tower of Babel, which is the story in the Bible, when God wanted to stop progress for those people who are building. What did he do? He brought confusion. He brought divisions. And divisions came as a result of having not able to understand the other person. When the other person is speaking, you think that he's insulting you. You are saying, bring this, you are bringing something else. So when there is disunity in that order, it means that there will be no progress. So similarly, in our situation here, the way we are demonstrating as political leaders currently, it is evident that the country will not progress. And it is also good for those people who are not Zambian to take advantage, so much so that they will go to this one. You are right. They will fund to bring confusions, because confusion is the whole Africa did not come from the people themselves. it came from, or it comes from outside. Those who are supporting group and the other one who are supporting this group. And then the country goes to war against itself. So that is divisions can be brought about or can emanate out of greediness, okay, out of bitterness, out of hatred, and which is not necessary. We need unity, we need love in order to make meaningful progress in terms of the economy. So that is important. It's very important that there must be unity. There must be love. Where there is unity, there must be love, because unity and love goes together.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit about the Zambia We Want party. You are the National Deputy Chairperson, and already as we speak, the environment of 2026 elections, you can smell it, you can feel it. And as a party, you should even smell it more. So much as you are smelling it, it means that you need to get down and do a lot of preparations. How are you doing as Zambia We Want in terms of mobilization, in terms of getting people to believe in your vision and mission, and in order to get people to decide in your favor come 2026?
Well, you see, Zambia We Want, as the name implies, it is born out of realization that as the country, what is it that we have not done right? What is it that we have done wrong? What is it that we are ought to do right now to get to where we want to be? So out of that realization, people of the same mind came together from west, east, south, north, northwest. They came together and said, look, this is not the Zambia we want. We want the Zambia where the Zambian, they are economically empowered. We want a Zambia where there is freedom of speech. We want the Zambian where political leaders are able to control the others. Okay? We want a Zambia that will encourage Zambian participation in the mining sector. Okay? We want that Zambia. We don't want a Zambia that says, look, because me, I'm Lozi, so all the Lozi people should support me. No, this is not a Zambia we want. Because some of us, we have a history to attest to that we have lived above that kind of consideration. And these are the people that have come. I would give you an example for you to know exactly that the people that have assembled and formed Zambia We Want are people who have no tribal consideration, okay, ethnic consideration, that we have transcended. We are above that. We have given ourselves that we are just Zambian. Okay, we don't call ourselves a what. We call ourselves as Zambian, and we can only bring about prosperity to this country if we all agree that we abandon all these divisions and only consider that the right person gets the jobs. Not that because this one comes from my region or comes from this region and this region, that we have transcended, that we have exterminated. It's not part of us. So we, out of that realization, the Zambia We Want formed. And we have taken views from all the people, those who are in the markets, those who are running it to timbers, those who have not gone to school, those who are gone to school, have achieved higher education, professors. We have, for example, we have Chairman Professor Kalifungwa. We have all these people who have assembled and formed Zambia We Want. We have looked at the situation, one, the economic situation, two, the political situation, okay, which is not good enough to have Zambia we want. And we said, okay, fine. PF want to fight with UPND. And we don't want to get into those fights. Like for myself, I don't want to get in any fight. Although it's known to Zambia that in politics in Zambia, you have to fight. The other one, you don't have to see. Immediately they see you talking to a PF member, the UPND will accuse you and they'll fire you. Like I was fired. So the PF again saw me talking to UPND when I was a minister. They said, no, this man is still UPND. So these are things I said, look, that's not the way we are supposed to live as people. Why can't we create a new environment which is free to all Zambian and all people can live without those considerations? And that's how Zambia we want is born. Now, since Zambia we want has been born out of that realization, I think, and we have taken a stock of this clearly, and this is what the Zambian people want. The Zambian people themselves, out of our manifesto, from our discourse, the Zambian people were able to make a decision that now, what type of a country do we want to create? This is the country that we want to create. Among the political players, who are the alternative? Who are speaking the truth? Who are concerned with our lives? Okay? How many of those from that group, how many of those people have the interests of the people at heart? How many of those how did they perform when they were given opportunity to lead? Did they attempt or did they involve themselves in the diabolic issues of corruption, issues of favoritism, issues of all kind of devices that are not good to normal existence of people? So this they can make a judgment, and when they make a judgment, there's the people wherever they are, they will be able to mobilize themselves and say, this is where we want to go. And the people who can take us to where we want to go is Zambia we want, because there are a number of issues that they have put in across that they will create an environment that is conducive for all Zambians to live. We don't, if, for example, UPND is booted out of power, what will happen to UPND members? You know yourself. What will happen? They will live in this country as well. They're not in this country. Okay? If UPND continues to be in power, what is going to happen with the PF members right now is that they are living as though they are not in power. Anything that the UPND is doing, if in the lenses of a PF member, it's wrong. Even when it's good, it's wrong, because there is that dislike. Okay? There is that bitterness. There is that anger again. We thought that let's create another platform. The Zambian people were going to be acceptable to them. And in this case, it's Zambia we want. So if anyone who is ever is angered with the situation that is pertaining right now, the only organization right now which is well positioned to take care of all the challenges, the problems that the country is going through, it is Zambia we want. Why is it Zambia we want? Because it's a party that has brought together a number of people from different professionals, and we have contacted all those different professionals and say, look, come and contribute. If you are in the diaspora, come and the space is there for you. Even those who are in chief in Abaria, we will identify those who have the talents. Okay? Because it means that innovation or invention does not only come from those who have degrees and who have doctorate and whatever. No, some of the innovation that we are enjoying or technology that we are getting now come from even somebody who didn't even go further in school. So we are encompassing everybody, and this is a country. We want to create a country where wherever you are included and you are welcome. And this is a organization for the Zambian people, okay? And we are getting all the views from the church, from the opposition, from those there are some who are in government right now who have contributed to our manifesto. Says, okay, I don't agree with what we are doing here, but if you guys you put this, I'll be able to join you. So, like the separation of powers,
right?
We know that, okay, right now as it is, the executive have too much power on government institutions, these institutions are supposed to be operating independent, because those who empower, those executives, they come from a political party. Okay. Now, if you allow them to control those institutions that are supposed to be neutral in their discourse, then you are putting the country in a unbalanced state, because it means that those in the opposition, they will not feel to go to court because they feel that this judge has been appointed by this party. Maybe this judge who is in this office was found to be one member of this particular political party. Okay? Yeah. Maybe so, because of that, he has been appointed. So I think this is why we are saying there must be separation of power, so that the judges, since they are there for the people of Zambia, and we have chosen ourselves to be a democratic country whereby there are multiple political parties, many political parties. Since there are many political parties, those who are mandated to preside over or to implement the law, we must make sure that we bring fairness. How do we bring fairness? We create another body that will be able to appoint judges, and you look at the conduct or misconduct of the judges. We need to change the judicial system to align with the prevailing situation. Because it is so much, because we are coming from one party participatory democracy. So the situation there was different. People were belonging to one political party. Okay? So it was okay. But now that we have multiple political parties, we need to change the system of appointing judges.
Okay. And I haven't heard your reaction as a party. First of all, let me quickly remind our listeners that our guest this morning is Mr. Richwell Siamunene. He is the Zambia We Want Party National Deputy Chairperson. Your comment as a party, the Zambia We Want, on the three judges that were fired by the president. Well, first suspended on recommendation and later on fired. It has also sparked quite a lot of debate around it. And what has been your thought? Is this the reason why you are advocating that there must be separation of powers? But then also as a party, I understand that your goal is to reduce the powers of the president.
Correct. So, you see, we are not dealing at the issue as it has happened. I think we will not be fair. We are not a group of people that comment on the issues as it happens. No, we go back to remedy. Yeah. Okay? Because how were those judges appointed? Is a system that is what we need to change in order to avoid such occurrences. Yeah. These occurrences, they will continue. Because if somebody else comes in power with the same this system, he will still do the same. Why has it been done? It is perceived that those judges, because that time when there was a matter, okay, between the current president and the issue of petition there, okay, that's a perception that is there. Or it may, on the surface, yes, it's correct. If you are making, it's correct that, look, at one time, there was this thing that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, because this one was this part that has come into power, they perceive that, okay, why we lost that time, it was because of these judges. So when we come into power, we'll have to deal with these people that made us lose and that. And then we are saying ourselves, no, look, this trend will continue. Even when these other political parties are allowed to come into power, they will do the same and say, you judges, because that case, if for example, the former president, this eligibility case turned the other way. And then it happened that the Zambian people choose that this other political party comes into power. What will happen with those people who be involved? Yeah. They will have to go. Even when they have done their job correctly, but because the law is not protecting them enough to make sure that their decisions, they are based on what the law states. Okay? Yeah. So that is where we have a problem. So what we are saying ourselves is not looking at the current happening. We have to go to the source. What is the cause? We are not interested in the effect. We are interested in the cause of things. So we go to cure the situation is to go to the cause. All these things that are happening, they have a cause. Why can't we remedy the cause and then the effect will completely go? Because the effect follows the cause. Yeah. So the cause of things is that our system is not up to date. The way the judges are appointed, the way the judges are dismissed, the process, their dismissal must be streamlined, must be aligned to the need of the hour. So that is what I can state here. From that statement, I'm sure you are able to make that, okay, this has happened, it's wrong. It is wrong, but what is the source? That's why we are saying, okay, we will review the judicial system to make sure that they have their independence. So that when you go there, when the judgment is against you, you say, okay, it's against me because there's no hand of executive there. Yeah. So all these departments that hinges on human rights, they will make sure that they are operating independently. They have no influence from the party in government. So that is what all the appointments, they will be on merit basis, not necessarily say you are a member of the political party and therefore you earn that position. That is not our position.
Thank you very much. And Richwell Siamunene is our guest this morning. He is the Zambia We Want Party National Deputy Chairperson. And of course, we are live also on our partner radio stations, Tuta FM in Mansa, covering Wapula province, as well as Spice FM in Kabwe on 91.1, covering the rest of Central Province. Remember, we are also live on our Facebook page. Follow our conversation. Leave us a comment. We will be glad to read it out to for our guests to respond. Otherwise, we are grateful that you've tuned in. Welcome to it. I'll now take phone calls on 0955 221515 for your participation. Once again, the number you're calling us on this morning is on 0955 221515. Let's take our first call. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, we have been impressed by the lady today.
Thank you.
You are talking to Honorable Chironda. Yeah.
Right.
Chironda Morgan. Yeah. So, you see, one thing, what I can tell you, the first issue, we need to appreciate in 60 years with peace, stability in our country.
Right.
Zambia, you cannot compare with our neighboring country, where one party is still there, just changing the president. I don't want to mention these countries. We know them, and you know them. Here now, the sitting president is number 7, with the 3 different political parties changing, namely UNIP, MMD, Patriotic Front. Now, this is the 4th. Changing the same. We are the people, we change our leaders. That's true democracy we're talking about. Now, talking about economically and industrialization. We are talking, yes, we need economy. What we need, our people there in villages to eat 3 times a day. That's our motto. But free, we are free indeed. That's why even individual with their wives and children say, I'm a leader of political party. When you don't have a secretariat, that's a true democracy. A leader of opposition of political party on social media. So that is how we say the true democracy. Now we have got where the political hatred. The political hatred we still have. We need to unite. Look at the memorial yesterday. Others are at Cathedral, others are the Catholics there. Is that a unit? That's a hatred. You need to sit together and resolve the problem, and we move together. What we need, the people, what they need is development, not to cause confusion. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chilonda, for that comment. We are grateful. You too can call us on 0955 221515. And this is the Tuesday edition of the Burning Issue. Our guest is Mr. Richwell Siamunene, the Zambia We Want Party National Deputy Chairperson. And we've discussed quite a number of issues. Chilonda brings up, I know this, I meant that we'll discuss it towards the end, but he brings up the 10th memorial celebrations for the late President Zambia. Which obviously prior to it had a lot of debate around it, and of course yesterday we saw that come into play. But quickly, let me take this call before you respond completely. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
How are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Your name?
You are talking to Mr. Shumba.
Mr. Shumba. Mr.
Yes.
Shumba, where are you calling us from?
Just from Mississippi.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, my comment is, you see, when you're playing with these games of politics, you should not bring hatred, because we are one Zambia, one nation. Yeah, if you talk of the judges that were fired, that was just a game. You know, you cannot touch the judges. Judges are employed. And if the way he has done, removing 3 judges, what if the other one, the judges that he has repressed? Is it to continue? Just the same as arresting this president, the other one comes in, arrest this president. This is Zambia. This is not another country. We are one Zambia, one nation. The president that is being hated is also a Zambian. The current president is also a Zambian. Why can they bring love and unity in our country? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. So like yesterday memorial, look, Sata belongs to Catholic Church. Used to belong to Catholic. So instead of them taking the mass to another church, that was not good. That was not in order. That was it showed clear hatred. I think so far this is not good anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. We really appreciate your call. I'll take one.
Yeah, because they're coming on one issue, so we better deal with it.
We deal with it.
Yeah.
Let's deal with it. Or maybe let me give you one more call.
Yes.
Let me give you one more call. Good morning.
Correct. I hope I'm clear. This is one Mutembo just compound representing. So I feel like the first two callers have said what happened yesterday was shameful, and it was bitterness of the highest order. Zambia has never been divided before. I mean, what's wrong with division? Because that issue, the memorial structure issue, has known the plan for the past 2 months. People have been discussing on how they are going to hold that event in the Catholic Church. But for someone 1 week before the event to come and decide to hijack, not only to hijack, to divide the Satas family, to divide the PF, to divide Zambia, I mean to send armed men to a Catholic sacristan, which has got the diplomatic relations with Zambia, was so shameful. I mean, what kind of bitterness is this? The same Sata that you insulted when he was alive, to say that he has no blame. That is that in no plan. Newspapers like Zambia Watchdog and Because were insulted. Today to show love. I mean, that was the crocodile tears. So whatever, and we need to condemn that. Look at what is happening. We are being told that the embassy party has been surrounded by armed men. But for what? Why should we insult the Catholic Church in this manner? Just because we want to be in power forever. Of unity, this time when you go to the judicial ceremony, but is that unity to divide this country like this? Thank you very much. I try for my country.
Thank you very much for that. Yeah, maybe let's respond to that.
Yeah, I think we need to understand one thing here. I like to be fair in my discourse, and then all of my remainder of my life, I thought I should be in that order.
Yeah.
Now, talking about what happened yesterday is very unfortunate for the country. Okay, it's very unfortunate in the sense that it has shown who we are, what type of people we are, is that we can't achieve progress in the manner that we are exhibiting ourselves as people right now. Okay? Yes, we can call names, this one and this one, but we need to grow. In the first place, what do you do? I've heard that UPND want to fire you, and they will dampen your political progress in jeopardy. And what do you do? What do I do? Then he says, look, I know that. So can you quickly, I appoint you as a Minister of Commerce? Or he said, I appoint you. And later on, that's when it was revealed that it was a Deputy Minister of Commerce. Now, I view him as a father. I respect him so much because he saved my political life, okay? I would, if that time was fired, I could have not been the defense minister, okay? And I would want him to be mourned in that order.
Yes.
Okay. Now, he was a political leader. He had a political party. He was a family man, okay? He had a family, okay? He had children and children's children, the wife, the widow, and other relations, and some of and the political friends and the relations. So, and again, he was the president of this country. He was the president of this country, meaning that he had so many jackets to consider. And any plan that you do in terms of commemoration, you have to make sure that you take interest of these groups. No doubt about it, government must be involved because the president of this country, no doubt about it. For me, no doubt about it. Then, no doubt about it, the political party PF must be involved because he was a leader at the time when he died. He was a leader of a political party. Okay? No doubt about it. And thirdly, the family. He was a family man. He had a wife, children, and grandchildren, and everyone, nephews and uncles. All these must be involved. Planning for anything, in my view, all these parties must be involved and agree how they are going to celebrate his life. Not in the manner that we saw. So, having said that, it's a duty of government to make sure that the organization is done properly. They fund it, or the logistical support is given, or everything is done. Okay? In consultation with the other parties. And again, there are even the event where it was supposed to be held and whatever, the government it's a state process.
Yeah.
Yes, state events. I want to speak the truth. I don't care whether somebody will not disagree with me, but that's having served in the government. When it's a state event, then the state must be involved. But either in consultation with other parties involved, okay? Then would have agreed, okay? If we hold it, for me, it doesn't matter where the procession can be held. It can be held and in this place, what is important is to hold it and everyone agreeing. Doesn't matter whether the Anglican church or in what SDA church or what, but as long as the people that have agreed that, okay, this is where we are going to hold it because this area has more this and this, all the other factors, then they agree and the venue, they agree the venue. And then all those people who have narrow interests, for the sake of the former president, they should have buried them somewhere. All the political differences, in my view, should have not been considered when you are conducting such a procession. One is a political leader. The political party must be. He didn't resign from that party. He was still serving party president. Two, he was a government leader. So whoever is in government is mandated to make sure that they give support. And even to be president. Then, but it does not stop anyone from Mansa, Livingstone, conducting their own memorial service. Doesn't stop. They can decide and say, we want to conduct our own and remember our past president. They could have done that. Then the police are not supposed to go there in Mansa or anywhere to go and stop them. But the national event where all national leaders, former and everybody and those current and what are supposed to gather, there must be one place where you have unity, where you have people who are reasoning better and understand and say that this time around, I don't like Mr. So. Just because I don't like Mr. So I should not allow the other people to go and gather in this area, and so I will not. No, that is not correct to me. You have to reduce your ego sometimes and allow your spiritual being, allow your unity, allow your universality to rule in that such a situation. That is my view. And if you have people who are reasoning in that order, then after the procession, after it's over, continue with all your political ideologies and so on and so forth, because you are mourning somebody who was a leader of this country. He was a leader of all those of UPND, UNIP, MMD, PF. He was my leader. So I think that's the way we could have conducted ourselves.
Do you feel it was disrespectful of the people that thought otherwise not to gather at a designated place for the memorial as suggested by government?
I'm saying that as suggested, not only that, you see, I'm saying government, the family members, and the other political party that he belonged at the time when he died should have agreed with the family members and said, this is where we are going to hold this.
It looks like family and government agreed, but the political party did not. Some members of the political party did not.
That is why I'm saying it's incorrect. They must agree. They must agree. In fact, the family members, the children must be respected. The widow must be respected. And in that order. I don't need myself, I don't need a funeral to show myself that I have power. I don't need a funeral. The funeral is a place where you accommodate everyone. A funeral is for all people. And on top of that, he was a national leader. He was our leader.
Does it, in this case, require that families should understand that when you hold public office, whatever would happen, I'll probably give you as an example. Not that I'm wishing you to die, but the fact that you held a very senior position in government, Minister of Defense, your family should be aware that when you die, it is likely that this will be a government funeral.
The government will have a say.
The government will have a say over all of you.
Yes, that's what, whether they don't like for me to have any national mourning or what, whether they don't like my children, but the government say, we are mandated, because he was not only, he was a national leader, and he must be remembered in such a manner. Whichever government that will be there at that time, even those that are not yet created, even the part that is not yet created, is at that time, when I say Hanel, then they'll have to get involved and agree with the family members that this is how we think, and then move in that direction. And I think that's the way. But does not stop anyone in Kalabo, those of my in-laws, to have their own procession or memorial service there. And then they'll say the police should not go there and disperse them and say, no, it's in Lusaka. No, they can have, but there must be a one central one, a government one. This is how things are done.
Yeah. Let me give you this scenario. I think the former president was being interviewed, I think a day before yesterday, and he had a say around the decision of having the memorial at the Cathedral of the Holy Cross, and also considering the fact that the late president was Catholic, and that the preference would have been that let it be at a Catholic church or building, so to speak. His argument also was political, that this is a man, on his allegation, that this is the man, the owner of the party you want to tear apart today, which you have really torn apart. This is a man whose legacy in the Patriotic Front you have decided to dismantle as a government. And tomorrow you want to go and say he was a good man. But what are you doing to his own child, the Patriotic Front? He sees that as hypocrisy.
Oh, you see, in politics, there are some considerations. We are different. I'll speak as myself.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want to condemn anyone.
Yeah.
They have their own view, the way they look at things.
Yeah. Of course, it's on allegation. It's on allegation.
So there's
that President Hakainde Hichilema has a hand in
the
disunity
destruction of
the PF.
PF.
And he says, if that is Sata's child, most loved child, which you are tearing apart today, why would you be on the podium to say praises on Sata?
No, the truth of the matter is that whether you don't like him, whether I did not vote for him, he's the president of this country. And he was